Yeah, well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's another Saturday, man, and we just got a little hip hop playing, and we just here to get up all up in your man, cause we with Obi-Wan, and you know he got a hand. Solo when we kick it. Yes, we with it in your district. Ho ho ho! It's Vince, and I'm with all my people. We are. I don't have it this morning.
Church steeple.
Hey, church people. I was gonna go there, but it was too common. Stop. I don't know. Tyrone should lead us off. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Bust
What?
up, man.
Nah, you don't want that. You don't want that.
You don't want that.
That sounded like a TED talk in here.
Yo, I would love to see you battle rap, bro. I bet you would kill it, man, with that baritone voice, bro. You know, you could even throw in the show. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Listen, obviously there's things afoot in the Blerd and Nerd universe. Good morning, as you already know. Welcome to everybody listening to us on Apple Music, on iHeartMedia, as well as Amazon Podcasts. Thank you for everybody who's watching us on YouTube and everybody on Twitch, as well as Facebook. And thank you for those y'all that watch the clips afterwards on Instagram. It is a lot going on. There is news amok, and I am here to tell y'all about it. We're going to sit here and talk about it. Good morning. I'm your boy, the real Vince Taylor. Let's go ahead and get into a couple of these headlines real quick before we introduce everybody, man. Did y'all know that this week has been a crazy week? Let's talk about the fact that, first of all, The Last Kingdom I don't know if this is the last season or not, but this season is among us. So for those y'all that are fans of Uhtred, son of Uhtred, this is a good week for you, homeboy. Not sure if you heard about this, but Zoe is out there speaking on how it seems that she may have been told she was too urban for Dark Knight Rises, and we all know what happened as a result. We ended up with this. So let's discuss. Also, going on in the Blerd universe, your boy Daniel Kaluuya might be in a legit sunken space. Have y'all seen this? There's a dude who's actually firing his whole team so that he can have this young lady who's called the Air Holiness run everything in his life. That's crazy. But the craziness is my dog, Ryan Coogler, was detained at a bank. The dude that gave us the highest grossing Marvel movie up to date until Endgame hit was taken in handcuffs because he was thought to be robbing the bank. The world gone mad. And we want to sit and talk about it, man. And along to talk about it on the ride, we have none other than, in order of appearance, the queen, the founder. Yes, Yazzie. What's going on? Yazzie is here. We also got the homie Bad Ty Bricks all the way from the T-ball field. Just kidding, he's at home. We got Tyrone in the building. What it do, Tyrone?
Yo,
and the ever so energetic Stephanie is here as well. We game face. We out here, man, as we are every Saturday. Go ahead, talk all this Blerd stuff, man. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is the new Blerd order. Tell us what's up, Yvette
Hey guys,
Nicole.
I love the new Blerd order. You should too.
Whoa.
So I just want this before we get into the Our Wolves episode, before we get into the Obi-Wan teaser trailer, before we get into the Adam Project, before we get into Last Kingdom, we would, as Stephanie, to quote Stephanie, I could not go back to my hood if we don't discuss what happened with Ryan Coogler this week. This is exactly what we talk about here. This is a guy that literally brought black culture to the movie theater. We talking about kente cloth and all kind of dashikis on grandmas to see Black Panther, but then he goes to withdraw $12,000 from his account and he is held he is detained. Now, I don't know if y'all are aware of this or not. I don't know if y'all heard about this story, but I don't know, man. There's a lot to unpack with this because all right, this happened in Atlanta, so it wasn't in like Albuquerque or Jackson, Mississippi. You know, he went to a black bank teller, so it's not like the bank teller was white. You know, the girl who took the note was a black chick, and she didn't want to be Vivica Fox from Set It Off. She was like, I don't want no part of this. You know, remember Vivica was like, what are you doing? Just put the money in the firm, bitch. She was like, don't want no part of this. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, Mr. Coogler, who's got bands on bands on bands, I think he was planning a trip to Magic City that evening, and he decided to go to the Bank of America and withdraw $12,000 cash. So what he does is, instead of being like, just give me the 12,000 and put it in the bag, he writes on the back of the withdrawal slip, hey, yo, can you please just can you count it like somewhere else? I don't want to be the guy who you're sitting here with the money machine and I walk out with 12 bands and then 2 Chainz and everybody, you know what I'm saying, that's still hungry meets me on the outside or whatever it is. I don't want nobody to know who I am and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, even though that happens, the girl doesn't interpret that as, oh, okay, my bad, you trying to be discreet. She's like, oh, this nigga's trying to rob me. You know what I'm saying? And she calls the police. They show up, they handcuff him, and he has to explain. He has to then pull a do you know who I am, which sucks. Nobody wants to have to pull a do you know who I am. He literally is in the car saying, yo, Google me. You're going to see how stupid y'all look. Just Google me. So I was interested, Steph, in your opinion on what's going on here. I mean, do we call this racism? If this happened from black person to black person. And then let's also admit one of the police officers was black as well. So a lot of the people involved were black. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is right, excusable, acceptable. I mean, even us within our own kind can prejudge ourselves. And who knows, maybe this lady had a traumatic experience earlier that was similar. I'm just curious as to what your take is, Steph.
It's hard to say. Internalized anti-blackness is definitely a thing. Black people can be racist for sure. I think this woman was just stupid. I'm inclined to think she was just an actual idiot. Like, the man is not pulling a gun on you. He's not being threatening. He's standing there hanging out while we wait for the cops to come. Like, he put in his pen and handed over his ID. And it's just like, she didn't seem to have the fundamental logical reasoning to understand this man wants me to be subtle about removing his money. I just feel like someone stupid enough to miss all of that might have done it no matter what the person looked like. Maybe she was inclined to just assume the worst because he was a black man. It's just the kind of idiocy that I don't know what to blame it on other than America's public education system. And I'm never one to defend the cops. I am very anti-cop, do not like cops. But if someone calls you and says there's a bank robbery, like, I get that the procedure is arrest the person who you've been told is robbing the bank until you figure out that they're not robbing the bank. So I don't like racism, definitely a thing. In this particular circumstance, hard for me to say. If it was a white woman, though, definitely, yeah. I'd be like, so I can admit that.
Hey, fair enough. Tyrone, man, what say you, man? How would you feel? You walked in to withdraw your own money and you're detained for it.
I mean, that's how I go into banks. I go into banks and I'm like, give me all my money. And you know, see what happens. What Stephanie said very early on, which is like that internalized anti-blackness is real, and it's a feature of white supremacy. So you know those kinds of things. You know, when people think of suspicious behavior, suspicious people, or whatever, you know, it's taught to us as a country very early on that like certain people are more suspicious than others, and this and that. So, I mean, that's pretty much what it was. I do believe, as Stephanie was saying, that the teller was probably kind of a dummy. And, you know, that didn't help the situation. But there are also protocols for that kind of stuff. If you try to withdraw $10,000 from the bank, then you do have to, like, there has to be like paperwork filled out and stuff like that. There's a whole process that you're supposed to go through that they had. Like, it's not like a secret bank process. Like, they had it already and stuff. So it was just a lot of stupidity, a lot of, you know, it's telling on yourself. I think that's ultimately what it ends up being is like, yeah, we told on ourselves here. Like everything was going fine, and all of a sudden, you know, here we are with the cops arresting this black dude because we were like, oh no, he's politely robbing us.
I just have the funniest
that's
question.
Basically what it seems. Go ahead, Yas. Go ahead.
Sorry. My question is like, did the teller even put his card and information like into the system and realize how much money he had in his bank account, and then like that was just like chump change,
Right.
or did she just
honestly,
assume? You know what I'm saying? Like based on like all of the just little facts that she had that he was trying to rob. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my question. You know what I mean? Like, did she even put his shit into the system? He gave you a PIN number and everything, his ID with, you know what I'm saying? Like wouldn't that have raised a flag is my question. Like, oh, hey man, this man has millions of dollars in his account. He's withdrawing fucking 12,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he asked to be discreet about it because there's people all over the place. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking like, don't banks have like a certain system? You know what I mean? Like when you have a certain amount in your, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't you have like some kind of asterisk or something next to your name that like, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a high roller. You know what I mean? Like, hotels do it. Why the fuck wouldn't banks?
Yeah, I don't know. Ty, have you ever? I mean, I know Ty. You've held down some jobs. I don't know if this is the type of thing that I've never been a bank teller. I don't know any bank tellers. I mean, I know some, but we're not friends. And I don't know what the protocol is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Yaz has a good point. Why don't they just go into the? If you put in his account information, you'll notice that 12 bands is nothing to this guy. So he has no reason to try to like, rob it. You know what I'm saying? So what? I mean, what is it we're missing here? I mean, what is the deal?
My question
I don't know
is
about. Oh, go ahead. No,
Ty, shoot, are you muted, Ty?
No, I can hear him.
Aware of.
Yeah, we can hear.
Can y'all hear him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
can you? You can't.
I can't. My bad. I'm muted. I had it on mute like an idiot. All right. Go ahead. Because it keeps.
I think certain elite banks like have a type of protocol or something set up for their executive customers, the more the ones with the multiple commas in their accounts, and I'm sure there was probably a better way to go about this. I don't want to put the onus completely on Ryan Coogler, because I'm sure this isn't the first time he's got lump sums out. I don't know if like what Tyrone said, after you reach a certain amount,
God damn,
it's a different program.
Oh, sorry.
Everything okay?
I'm sorry, bro. I've tried to mute the joint and then it keeps dinging. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk. I thought I was muted.
Nah, that's cool. But I don't know if it's a different protocol. I watched the entire video, and one thing that I will say though is this: growing up in the city, you tend to see people that look sketchy, and you know what I'm saying, like you have to use your own determination and your own street smarts to determine whether or not that could affect you or not. I saw Ryan came through with the Yeezy homeless line on and just looked like like if I was to see Ryan Coogler that day and I didn't know who Ryan Coogler was, he would have been one of them sketchy characters. I'd have been like, what is this? What has he got on, a army jacket and like a army hat? It was his. So I can see where the young lady might be like, this looks a little weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, granted, Stephanie is absolutely right. The girl's just stupid, because at that point you could just look at the account, look at the name, and if you don't know who directed Black Panther, we need to get your black card back. We need to just get that and keep that until you get your mind right. But that is, I think that is one of the things that we don't talk about enough. And I know it a lot of times it does have to do with the circumstances of white supremacy and the effects that it has on us. But there are some times where, like I said, growing up in the inner city and stuff like that, if a dude with a hoodie is walking up to my car, right, you know what I'm saying, I might be like the white people, you know what I'm saying, mm-hmm, like, and just lock my doors. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily mean that I you know what I mean? It's just I'm just looking at the situation. So I don't know if that was the case or not, but I'm so really sorry that this happened to him.
Yo, I'm really sorry that do y'all hear this dinging shit, man?
Yes.
Yo, I there's nothing I could do. There's nothing I could do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to mute, and then and then I can't hear you, and then I'm cussing myself out in the background as happening. So my apologies for the notifications. But yeah, man, I just think that you are right. But at the same time, like you said, he came in with a mask on, which is usually how people rob banks. But in this day and age, everybody's got masks.
Yeah.
So it's like, but all right. Well, look, let's try this. And we discussed this in advance. Hopefully this doesn't get us in any trouble whatsoever. But we actually do have a quick story on this. So let's see if we can get some insight onto this and maybe it can help us understand what's going on.
At Panther and Fruitvale Station. But in January, he found himself being handcuffed at a Bank of America in Atlanta. It turns out he was falsely detained after a teller mistook him for a bank robber. Bank of America has apologized. Mola Lengi has more.
Minutes after passing a note to a bank teller asking her to be discreet over a money withdrawal, filmmaker Ryan Coogler is approached by police.
Hey, sir. Do me a favor, man. Come this way. What's going on, man?
Both of the officers draw their weapons before placing handcuffs on a surprised Coogler. They were there responding to a possible bank robbery in progress. Coogler was in a Bank of America branch in Atlanta, where he's been filming the sequel to Black Panther. According to the police report, Coogler passed a withdrawal slip to a bank teller with a note written on the back, asking her to be discreet when handing him $12,000 in cash. After being cuffed, Coogler was escorted to a squad car.
If you just run my name, you'll understand why you should take me off these cuffs. C-O-O-G-L-E-R. Just put it in Google.
From the back seat of the squad car.
Now we can't hear you.
That part right there, bro. That's the thing I hope I never have to do. I hope I never have to say, will you please just look me up? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you know you got to pull your movie star card that you in trouble, man. So I felt bad, and I'm still debating over whether or not I'm upset with him for letting him off so easy with this.
Coogler explains to police he was trying not to call attention to himself in withdrawing such a large amount of cash.
If I don't write down on a note how much I want out, and then I don't want it ran through the money counter right there at the desk, the whole bank ends up looking at me.
Coogler was uncuffed minutes later. CBS News reached out to Bank of America and didn't hear back, but a spokesperson told Variety, "We deeply regret that this incident occurred. It never should have happened, and we have apologized to Mr. Coogler." Through a rep, Coogler told CBS News this situation should never have happened. However, Bank of America worked with me and addressed it to my satisfaction, and we have moved on. For CBS Mornings, Mola Lengi.
I'll be switching to Wells Fargo after that shit.
It's unfortunate.
I'm like, fuck Bank of America.
We don't know what happened behind the scenes, though. They may have been like, you know what I mean? You got no fees for the rest of your life. We gonna donate $300,000 to your foundation. Like, he said he's satisfied. Just because he didn't tell us the details doesn't mean there aren't more. That man's never paying an overdraft fee again. Never.
You don't have to pay overdraft fees. What do you mean?
Yeah, that part. But you raise a good point. That some of that statement of, we've what did he say? We've already sorted it out, and the situation has been handled to my satisfaction. There's something really weird behind that statement.
No interest on his loans for the rest of his life. Interest free.
Whatever you want. Give it to him.
Let's break this down. Like, is there something happening here that maybe we should be privy to? Is he possibly Bank of America offered to help fund portions of the movie, or to do? I mean, I'm wondering what the settlement was that made them just be like, "Yo, look, all right, cool, no big deal, man." I mean, because I know if it was me, there'd be marching. We would be there would be bricks thrown through Banks of Americas all over the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be a whole thing. Like, I'd be like, how did we done came 400 years, you know what I'm saying? And now y'all didn't collect no interest on our people, but you want to, I don't know if I could walk away from this. So one thing is for sure, that Ryan Coogler is still the coolest director I've ever seen in my life. The dude still sounds like an extra from a Snoop Dogg video. I mean, he's so Cali to the core. He's like, I mean, y'all could just Google me. You know what I mean? Y'all see what it is. You know what I'm saying? you know, and then yeah, and then they was like, yeah, we handled it, we worked it out, you know. I'm like, nigga, like you are so calm about this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
well, it probably helps that he's so damn busy. Like he's out there, you know, he's like, I gotta get to work. I got movies to shoot. I'm trying to get Black Panther 2 off the ground. You know what I mean? So like, you know, he's not trying to mess around with these Bank of America people.
Listen, I hate to say it, but this is good press for Black Panther too.
We should learn from this man because this is a big learning moment in his career. I'm just saying, like he could act like an ass, you know?
Yeah, he could, man. Because I mean, listen, look at all that Shuri went through. Look, Jussie Smollett is getting sentenced. He just got, you know, like a few hundred, like 150 days, I think it was, and he's like, you know, it's like the end of the world. Well, you know, hey.
And trust these
we've all been arrested, right? You know, we've all done a couple months, no big deal. But yeah, man, I just thought that's fascinating that he's so quick. My only question before we move on is, what do y'all think he needed 12 bands cash for? I still stand by
in Atlanta,
the strip club.
I literally believe that. Like, I'm not even playing. I made a joke about it.
Gun, start shooting it all in the strip club. Yeah, probably got 2 guns.
All right, I know I'm freezing up, but I legit do believe that they might have had a good day on set or something, and he was trying to treat everybody, and he didn't want to go in with 100s, so he's like, "Look, I'm gonna go ahead and get." You know, I'm surprised he didn't ask for 12,000 ones. Just put it all in a bag. So, are we all in agreement that he was definitely withdrawing that money to put it on some young lady's daycare bills for that evening, or is somebody going to try to claim that this was going to the offering bucket?
I mean, is he married?
He is married.
Yes, he is married, very married.
But that don't mean nothing. Listen, I'm allowed to go to the strip club. Okay.
No. It does, and that's not what I meant.
But,
okay.
I was asking, is he married? Because wives spend money like that, and maybe wifey was like, "Well, what am I supposed to do while you're doing Black Panther?" He's like, "All right, I'll be right back."
Right.
Or maybe he found an antique piano.
He probably called her and was like, "Babe, so." Well, is five enough? She was like, no, I'm gonna need at least 10. He was like, well, I'm gonna get you 12, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Just to be sure, right? She's like, yeah, all right, baby. I honestly think that Ryan Coogler let all of this kind of like fall to the wayside and got over it really quick because the rep that did all of this was a black rep. Had this been a white rep, this shit would not have gone over. This shit, we would still be talking about this. There would be a lawsuit against Bank of America. Ryan Coogler would be owning shares of Bank of America at the end of all of this. I think the fact that it was a black rep, he probably was like, you know, just knowing that, you know, how much he loves the culture and everything like that. He probably was like, look, man, I don't want to get this black sister or black brother, you know, fired or anything. It was just a misunderstanding. Just, you know, give her some extra training, and you know, I'm good.
That's a.
But if someone's robbing the bank, you know what I'm saying? Don't you have to go and like tell your manager and all that? You know what I'm saying? To like report, you know what I'm saying? Like for that to be like handled properly, like her manager didn't look up his accounts, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that. Like that. There's so many questions I have about like this whole incident going down. You know what I'm saying? Like
they probably did it after.
Always there, you know, he couldn't have verified with his information that they gave him that he was himself.
Well, I mean, they probably did it afterwards, but I mean, if one of your workers comes and says this guy's trying to rob the bank, I don't think the first thing you do is look up his account. First thing you do, if they come tell you that, is call the police. Then you figure all of that stuff out. Because you don't know how long it's going to be before he finishes robbing the bank, or, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. You got to, you know, kind of
I feel that, but I'm just saying, like, you're in an area where there's like a lot of celebrities, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it is kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like, You got
Just
people
like
coming in
this-
there withdrawing money all the time. You know what I'm saying? Lots of money all the time. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. It's this kind of profile on that. Like, you gotta wear a mask too. You know, there's a mask.
Bro, why you got your hands out? Is that your
His
phone?
phone's ringing. That's why he's like,
It's not. My phones aren't ringing. I put them both to do not disturb. They're both on airplane mode, but I can't stop my freaking stupid ass Mac from accepting calls, which I never asked it to in the first place. Now I'm getting a call from who the fuck is this during the only time of the week that I don't want no fucking phone calls. Jesus.
Why don't you should answer
What
them
the fuck?
and
the fuck?
Put him on the show.
put them on the show.
Bro, like, let
just answer the phone. They'll stop calling you. Answer it.
I can't. It's not coming up. All right, look,
yeah,
I'll be right back.
Okay, you could
Okay.
you could actually turn on. You should be able to turn off your notifications if you go to your Apple menu, system preferences.
Okay.
Go to notifications and focus. Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Cool. So
Somebody's about to have it.
So here's to your point. Yeah, I feel like when the bank there are a lot of ways that this could have been avoided. For example, when she goes up to the manager and is like, "Hey, I think this guy over here is robbing the bank." The manager could have been like, "And he just let you walk away and come and talk to me."
Thank you.
Like
well,
just
that's
different
what I'm
stuff like that.
saying.
Like
That's what I'm saying. Like
yeah,
there's
a lot
so
of common
many.
sense.
Yes,
Yeah, but
there's
also
so many things here.
Yeah, but I think ultimately, what I hope is that that the teller, takes a moment and thinks about, okay, like what was it that made me think this man was trying to rob the bank? And because like we said earlier, not to get too preachy, but like white supremacy is far reaching and gets very, very deep into the fabric of our belief systems and the way we judge people and stuff. So hopefully there was a moment of reflection for her to where she's like, oh damn, they got me too. Like I didn't even realize. Like here I am, Black around my people in Atlanta, which is like, we know what's up with Atlanta. And the first thing she's like is like, damn, this dude's trying to rob this bank with this note that's like, hey, just can I get my money? Also, here's my name, here's my account number. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's ultimately when we peel away all the layers, that's ultimately what it comes down to. Because at no point did anybody let common sense take over. Everybody just went with this kind of like reactionary instinct that that they couldn't reason past.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the most disappointing thing about it. The good news is it ended up, very like, it wasn't a crazy thing. It ended up very like mild. There was some, he was inconvenienced and probably embarrassed, and that sucks and that shouldn't have happened. But ultimately, like everybody's fine. So he was like, all right, I'm okay. Bank of America is sorry, and they're probably gonna have to do a lot of new commercials about how cool they are. You know what I mean? We're gonna see a lot of black faces in Bank of America
smiling,
commercials.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
I
Like,
gotta...
think how many people are like, "Fuck Bank of America" right now? Like,
yeah. I'm gonna go on the record and just say I've been like fuck Bank of America for years. Like they fucked my shit up a long time ago, and I never fucked with them ever again. So maybe it's just Bank of America. You know what I mean? Like, because they have literally fucked with everybody at some point, charging you some shit or doing something that.
Well, I mean, it is right there in the name.
True.
Yeah.
Bank of America.
Yep.
What more would you expect?
They
That,
warned us.
I don't fault the cops for showing up when they get a call about a bank robbery, but they didn't have to show up the way they did. If it was a white man in a suit, no way they would have started that conversation guns drawn. They'd have been like, oh, hey, this must be some kind of misunderstanding, sir. Can we just talk about this? Right? Like, seems to think you're robbing the bank. And clearly, a gentleman of your stature would not be doing that. Let's just have a conversation. Like, the way that they approached him, I 100% believe was different because he was a casually dressed black man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like all the people in the bank watch way too many like bank robbery movies. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to chill. What the fuck?
Yeah. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Am I devoid of phone calls? All right. I for whatever reason, man, and I know I mentioned this before, but I just keep picturing Vivica Fox like the dude is like, what's the fucking procedure when you got a gun to your head, right? You know what I'm saying? You empty the clip. You hit the button on the bottom, and I feel like that's crazy, man. So Ryan Coogler, I'm hoping to believe what Ty says, and that's that this man is like, look, man, I don't want this lady's life to go spiraling out of control because she made a dumbass decision. You know, if it was an Emily Higginbotham instead of a Natalia Jackson, then maybe, you know, it'd be a different.
Oh, there's no
story.
maybe. This shit would be all.
But yeah, you know, but I'm also assuming that the Bank of America corporate heads came groveling at his feet, and I'm sure that they probably worked something out so that it's going to be beneficial for him, his, you know, whoever it is. I mean, the interest they gain off this man on a daily basis for having that much in his account is to be said as well. Like, for those of y'all don't realize it, like every dollar you have in the bank, they gain interest, and for everybody that has bank accounts, that's where their money comes from. It's the interest. You don't get it, they get it. You know what I'm saying? And they capitalize off of it. And with a guy with that much money in the account, best believe that there are bills being paid off of that. So they be in their best mind to be a sponsor of Black Panther 2. they need to make a Chad Boseman android after this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully what goes on. What's up, Tyrone?
Oh, no, I was gonna say they weren't just worried about his account. They were like, please don't get your whole community mad at us because we gotta charge y'all overdraft fees so we can make our money. So you know, we can't afford to lose all the poor Black folks who are filling our pockets with ridiculous fees. Yeah, I'm coming at you, Bank of America and the banking system at large.
How very Occupy Wall Street of you. Down with the Fed. I see you, bro. Well, look, man, Ryan, good luck to you. I don't know whether or not I'm happy or not. Like, honestly, I can understand the diplomacy, but like the firist activism side of me wants to be like, bro, you could have at least let him sweat for a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, bear in mind, this did happen a month ago, and he didn't make a big deal about it. Like, it's just now making its waves through the headlines. But like, he could have at least let them, like, you know, teeter on the bounds, like, and be like, oh shoot, are we gonna lose? Let's say, because like if Ryan Coogler says, look, I'm leaving Bank of America because racism, then they will lose at least a tiny percentage of people. And that influence is great, you know. So I was just surprised that. So I'm really curious at what went on in that smoke-filled back room, man. You know what I'm saying?
All they would have done was make the Black woman or man who tell her the scapegoat of that whole scenario. Right. So that's all they would have done. They would have paraded that young lady out there or young man, whoever it was, who made that mistake, and they would have just been on it. It would have just been all about that person. You know what I mean? It would Bank of America wouldn't have taken any responsibility in that. It would have been like, well, you know, this young lady, she's only been on the job 3 months. You know,
this young lady from Decatur.
She's raising her. She's a single parent. She's got multiple kids. She's a lot of pressure and stress. She has no help at home. So it would have literally been that. So I think Ryan was intelligent enough to realize that would have been what would happen.
Or his publicist was like, "You're gonna cap off this. Just let them apologize. Let them give you whatever you want, and just think about the benefits of how this is gonna look later on. Like, you can do whatever you want whenever you want."
Wow. Well, hey, listen, that's interesting, but I hope that one day it's revealed what actually the transaction was. I hope it is.
Stephen's like, it's not. It's not. I agree with you.
Do you think we'll ever know?
I don't know. And I think it was good because that kind of public pressure is only useful to get what you want. If they give you what you want up front, you don't have to do all that work. I believe that they offered him something so good, or when he asked for what he really wanted, they just said yes. But he was like, "Oh, I don't even got a boycott. You just gonna give me $2 million for my next project? All right, we're good." I think in this climate, Bank of America did not want that smoke, and they just folded to whatever it is that a boycott or a big public fuss would have accomplished. And he was like, cool. I think Ryan Coogler is smart enough to have not just let it go. He got something very, very good, and we'll probably never know what it is.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry.
I think it's just every time somebody makes a good point, the bell dings. So that's what we're just gonna say is the point. So because I'm not, you hear how it's not happening right now while I'm talking, because I suck.
Oh,
see, it was like, yeah, you suck.
Them. Whoever makes the most things win.
It's those sound effects. Ty's was like, all right, Mario setting, here we go, hitting the coin.
All right, yeah, go. All right, well, another. I can't stop it, guys. It's going to keep going until it catches up. Like
all these good points.
Yeah. And anyway, Okay, all right, maybe it's
See,
maybe it's
it doesn't
true.
do it in the silence.
Oh my fucking no! Come on, man.
It's like
What the
it's like
hell?
when the smoke alarms got to have batteries changed and stuff. Like,
Oh my god. All right, anyway. So sorry, Ryan Coogler, that you seem to be victim of black prejudice. But also you were not the only one in the Blerd universe to be affected. It seems as if also in the news, it was revealed that Zoe Kravitz was told, or somehow it was revealed that she was communicated. Somebody communicated to her that she was too urban for the Dark Knight Rises update. Sequel. Well, the final installment of the trilogy for the DC, for the Christopher Nolan series, which I still think was one of the better trilogies. Actually, I'm gonna say is the best Batman trilogy, because it's the only one that was consistent with the same director and the same actors all the way through. However, this is the wrong Catwoman. Yeah. However, I have some weird feelings about this whole thing, guys. So I'm hoping y'all help me unpack this before we do the Obi-Wan trailer. So there's the headline goes, Zoe Kravitz reflects on being told she was too urban for the Dark Knight Rises. All right, these are the headlines that start to make their waves throughout last week, and once it started to make its waves, Zoe actually said that she wanted to clear the record and basically kind of made it seem like the person who wrote this article misinterpreted what she was saying, or that she somehow tried to use it as clickbait. All right. So maybe she did, but then when you read her statement, you're kind of like, but she kind of said almost exactly what she said. Okay, so just check this out real quick. So Zoe gets word of all of these headlines, and she responds by saying, first of all, let's talk about clickbait, bad journalism. I was not told I was too urban to play Catwoman in The Dark Knight. It would have made no sense for me to even be considered for that role at that time. Why not? Explain. All right. But let me finish. Let's go on. She goes on to say, I did not mention this to any point to point any. Hold on, wait. Is this the right order? Oh yeah, that's the right one. Okay. So I did not mention this to point any fingers or make anyone seem racist, namely Chris Nolan, the film's producer, or anyone casting on the team, because I truly do not believe anyone meant any harm. I was simply giving an example of what it's like to be a woman of color in the industry at the time. And yes, I am reading this out of order, but bear with me. I wanted to audition for the small part in the role, and I was told, I do not know who said this, but you were told. Okay, anyway, I do not know who said this, but this is how it was worded to me, that they are not going urban on the part. This is something I heard a lot 10 years ago. It was a very different time. I don't even know what that means. 10 years ago, as if that was a whole different America. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, please, somebody please help me. All right, so I read the last thing, and then she said, about the color. Again, this was many years ago when words like that were thrown around very casually. And although I'm very glad that we are attempting to evolve, let's all calm down as well as fact check before we write things that are untrue. So I'm confused, Steph. I'm confused. What's the real difference? Let's do some word check here. The article says was too urban to audition, and she says here that that they were not going urban on the part. It feels to me like that's what they said. I mean, what am I missing here? Like, I feel like she's trying to clean up a mess for somebody just to avoid trying to be the black girl who screams racism. But she mentioned it in the first place. So what this feels like to me, Steph, is her trying to walk back a claim that she rightfully said, but now does not want to have to deal with the backlash from Hollywood as being casted as the black girl who screams racism when she doesn't get her way. This feels like publicity trying to clean up a potential mess. I don't call it a mess, but what they would probably say to prevent her from being blacklisted from certain roles.
Mm-hmm.
What say you?
She said it. She 100% said it. She said what she said, and probably the time she was comfortable and being open. Yeah, girl, this happened. Da, da, da. And now that it's a headline, and she's probably getting a text from Chris Nolan like, Zoe, what the fuck? Now she's feeling bad and wanting to backtrack because she's realizing the impact that this could have on her career. But she absolutely admits that she said it and is like, but I didn't mean it that way. Yeah, you did.
Right.
And it probably happened that way. But rather than leaning into it, she wants to make sure that she doesn't make white folks so uncomfortable that they don't cast her next time. And that is a choice, Zoe. It's a choice.
Yeah. Yes. What say you? What do you think happened?
I kind of agree with Dark Secret on this. Like, to her point, that the wording was kind of a little like twisted. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, it's not they're not going urban versus her being too urban. She is light skinned as hell. Like, come on, she's lighter than me. I'm fucking light. All right. So, like, I guess what the article clickbait, what she was trying to say was like too urban means like, you know what I'm saying, like Nubian darkness. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't want that, but like they just in general didn't want to cast anybody of darker, you know what I'm saying, ethnic descent for this. That's what they were basically saying. So I see the controversy here, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel like she's just trying to clear the air because at the same time, like I said, like she's light skinned as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like there's many different roles that she could portray in that this specific thing could ruin her, you know what I'm saying, career later on just because it was misconstrued as, you know what I'm saying, like something that she said. She did say it correct. It was told to her, but it wasn't too urban. It was just that they were not going urban. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a thought back then, which if you think about it in the time period, she's correct because we are just now making, you know what I'm saying, headways into stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Maya Angelou is officially on a quarter. It's going to be released, you know what I'm saying, soon. So you have to think about it like she's right. You know what I'm saying? Like mostly all we really saw, you know what I'm saying, certain roles that pertain to that were like mostly white women, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like there was any really, like there wasn't a lot of roles for colored and urban women, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we would have, you know, like a different, you know, ethnicity in there, you know, such as like Chinese or, you know, Asian, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like a Samoan, you know, different cultures, but it just, that seems urban. Do you see what I'm saying? Like we're urban in that mix. Like, it's just, it's different. So I see where she's coming from at the same time. I see where she's trying to save her ass. So I'm going neutral on this. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, it's about the money at the end of the fucking day. You know what I mean? So.
All right. Well, that's one argument. I would like to point out that around the time that Dark Knight Rises, Black Panther was in theaters. And I also want to point out the fact that this Dark Knight came after a Halle Berry starred Catwoman had already flopped. So it's not like they hadn't already experimented in the DC universe with black Catwomen. And I don't, yes, it flops, but that's not the reason why they didn't bring
and
her
they chose
on.
they chose the hottest actress of that time and it flopped. You got to think
flopped
about
not
that.
because of her, but because it was a trash movie.
But you got to think about
sequel. So they can't blame her blackness. The urban aspect, I don't think has anything to do with skin color. I'm really taken aback with the notion that a movie called Dark Knight Rises. Right? It's Dark Knight Rises. That's cast in Gotham, which is like one of the darkest cities, is afraid to go urban. And if you look at the definition of urban, it doesn't mean black. It just means city. You know, for those of us who think urban equals black, urban somehow was equated with inner city, which makes folks think black. Okay.
Well, I mean, it was in this way, it's urban is coded language to mean black. Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Exactly. 100%. So, I mean, I feel like she's doing like her and Yaz are in the same boat where I feel like Zoe has one opinion at the dinner table and another one for the press conference. And that she's trying to save her career by not being too controversial. Right. She said it. She meant it. They're listening. My bad. I didn't mean for y'all to hear that. And that's where I feel this is coming from, Ty. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think that I'm a little disappointed. I want her to be like, look, I said what I said. That's what I heard. Maybe it wasn't the case, but look what I am now. I'm Catwoman, and I killed this role, and we're doing well. No need to clean up for Hollywood, and you don't have to necessarily. You can say that you heard it, and it wasn't from Christopher Nolan. It was some sidebar character on set. Who knows what they have validity or not? But you don't have to clean up and play. You don't have to cape for Hollywood. Okay. There are things. I look at people like Jesse my man Jesse from ER. You know what I'm talking about, Steph?
Williams.
Greenwood thing.
Yes, the dude who's like, listen, we will reconstruct. Like, he went on stage. He was like, yo, fuck that. I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. Oh, y'all want to cancel me? I don't give a shit. I kind of respect that, but I get it. You look at her parents and her upbringing. These are not controversial folks. Lenny Kravitz with the world's largest scarf, and him. I remember that video he made where he was so uncomfortable around those ghetto children in that video, and Lisa Bonet. You know, I mean, these are folks that live in the woods and make their own soap and butter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that they're really interested in moving forward in terms of equality, Ty. So I think that she's a product of her upbringing, and that she had she grown up in a D.L. Hewley household, or maybe even a Denzel household, then perhaps she would have different things to say. But she's about not rocking this boat.
I think in this case, it's probably more about her team and the people that surround her, that are in charge of monitoring her career. I think, if it's just us talking about, her, what her upbringing is and everything like that, I don't want to speculate too much because I don't know what goes on, what kind of conversations they have in their household. But I do think that somebody on her publicist, maybe her, marketing advisors or managers, saw this article and said, this could be bad press. You need to issue a statement immediately. And it goes to, again, who she has in her corner. If those people are not people of color, then it, strategically this makes sense to them. I think we're in an era and an atmosphere where speaking out against any form of white supremacy is no longer, like you're not necessarily ridiculed for that. If anything, you're uplifted by our community and recognized. So I think this may speak very much to the people who she has advising her, as opposed to her own opinion.
Yeah, Tyrone, you got any thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I do. She does make a good point about bad journalism, about clickbait journalism too. I think that's part of what's being missed is the way that the story was put out there. It was put out there with very, very little information. So it was Zoe Kravitz was told she was too urban for Dark Knight Rises, and it's like a picture of her, in a cat dress, or like you see her as Catwoman, and then like sometimes you see it, and like people pick that up. It's a very, very, that's not a very full story. But what they do is like they want you to make your own conclusion from that, and your conclusion is she played Catwoman in the new Batman movie. She was told she couldn't play Catwoman in the old Batman movie because she was too urban. It's like these stories are made this way and put out this way so we can essentially draw the most emotional conclusion we could possibly draw. It's a thing that happens a lot. I mean, how many times have we seen articles about a Marvel character or whatever, where we open, like the headline says something that's going to be like, oh, it's going to change the game and blah, blah, blah. And we open it and it's like, there's nothing in here. Right. It's just, it was a headline that was just meant for us to click this thing. And it essentially, just put out some lies. So that is that is an issue without a doubt. But with her kind of walking back her statement a little bit, because it does sound like she, experienced some level of racism or colorism or something like that while she was potentially going to audition for a part. It's one of the features of, white supremacy and those kinds of things is that we start to invalidate our own experiences. We're like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't that, maybe it was something else. Maybe it wasn't this bad. So, when I hear that, like, that's what I'm kind of hearing. I know, especially when you're, if you're biracial or if you're, some sort of mixture of races, that can also have an effect on that. So I feel like there are a couple different, different branches of this issue. Ultimately, whoever told her that on the when she was auditioning for The Dark Knight Rises was wrong. And being in that way, in that old school way of 10 years ago, doing coded language and just and being racist, and then it trickled down from there. So it's still ultimately it all gets traced back to that. But I would love to like actually watch her have a conversation about this instead of somebody like it sounded like there was probably an entire conversation that happened. She mentioned that while she was just kind of like going through her experience as an actress or whatever. And then somebody heard that and there was like, ooh, this one's going to get some clicks. And they put it out there, like that kind of shit. You know what I mean? I would love to hear the whole conversation the way Zoe Kravitz, told it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I could defend reporters for a second, I mean, yeah, that's what headlines are. They're supposed to grab attention. I mean, yes, you want to be careful about what you say. And yes, clickbait is no different from view bait. I mean, back in the day, they would say like, the Queen of England falls on her head and George Washington is hit by a shoe. Details at 6. But now they just put it on a banner and post it on Facebook. But you do have to be cautious because folks typically will run with the headline and not with the article. Right. So a lot of our friends,
by design, very much.
Yes. A lot of like now I like the little feature that Facebook has for those of us who are still on Facebook and haven't moved to TikTok like I have. Anyway. But I like at Facebook, like if you try to share an article without opening it, it'll say, hey, yo, you about to share an article and haven't even opened it.
You haven't even read it.
Sure that you want to do that? You know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, all right, I guess, all right. I guess I'll open it
guess
up.
I'll read it.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll just see something that'll be like Spider-Man new edition. I'll be like, hell yeah, let me share that shit. They'll be like, oh, okay, well, all right, maybe, I don't know what it is. So, I mean, I get it, but there is definitely a difference between clickbait and good reporting. And a good reporter would make sure that they don't have anything that can be retracted or misconstrued in that headline. Like they very easily could have just been like, because I'm assuming that honestly, that Zoe just walked this back, that she literally did say that she was too urban, but then she had to come back and be like, all right, I didn't say I was too urban. What I said was they said that they weren't going urban, which essentially is somewhat synonymous. Thing. You know what I'm saying? It's synonymous because basically you're saying they didn't say I was too urban. What they said was that they didn't want urban people. And I just happened to fit in that category. And as a result, I didn't get casted for the part. Now, I think that that's unfortunate, but I also am going to say something unpopular. And remember, explanation is not justification. So I'm not trying to justify this. But in the world of entertainment, especially as it pertains to acting, sometimes you're just not what they had visioned for the part. And that can be taken away. Like we know that Michael B. Jordan was not supposed to be Johnny Storm. But the director of that movie was like, I loved Michael B. Jordan and I want him in this movie. And the best way to make that happen is to make him Johnny Storm. And I remember the headline said, I didn't choose to make Johnny Storm black. I chose to make Michael B. Jordan Johnny Storm. So his whole thing was, I just wanted Michael B. Jordan in the movie. And he was right for it. I still defend that movie. Don't think it was as bad as everybody makes it to be. But in that instance, it wasn't about urban. It was about, look, I'm just casting a role. And I think he should have gotten, I mean, I know it upset a lot of snowflakes because they're used to seeing, Hannah Storm, Sue Storm as like what was the girl who
Jessica Alba
and and there's still talk about old boy from The Office and his girl and Emily Blunt possibly. And I think Yaz got catfished by that trailer the same way I did got the trailer. But I think that sometimes, I mean, like I was talking to name drop, I don't do it often, but I will now, Shantae Wayans, old friend of mine, and she was just telling me like she auditions for roles and sometimes they'll just tell you like, look, we don't have you pictured for this role. I'm not saying that it's right, but that's a facet of Hollywood, and it takes you having to kind of get by to get through that whole firewall of this is what you envision versus this is going to work out despite the fact that I didn't envision it. You know what I'm saying? Like who? I mean, look, let's look at the Doctor Strange movie. Okay, like let's look at who's playing the Ancient One, right? Is that what they pictured, or did she blow her, or did she blow them away in the audition? You know what I'm saying? Because the Ancient One isn't some. I mean, all right, I'm switching topics, but my point is like in acting, sometimes when you go to the drawing board in casting with an ideal in mind, it can fuck you up because you're not including what could be essentially dope. And if they went into it saying we're not going urban, then that's already fucked up from the outset, in my opinion. So
I think you made a point. You had a point earlier when you were saying that, you know, it could be that when they were having this conversation, she had said something, you know, just mentioned it briefly about the urban thing, and that just took over the whole conversation for the reporter. And then, you know, when she saw this article, it was like, well, damn, you know how you have a conversation with somebody and they only take that one piece, and you're like, well, that wasn't even the basis of the conversation. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just sprinkled that in, and like now that was the whole conversation. So maybe that could have been her reaction too, and she felt like, you know, that the reporter was trying to mince her words, but ultimately there's really no mincing it. You know, you said it. You know what I mean? Like whether you said they weren't trying to go too urban or urban, you ultimately are saying they were not looking for a person of color for that role, period. So, I mean, like, you know, I'd be upset with the young lady reporter, but the young lady reporter was doing her job. Lois Lane style.
Yeah. And they could have easily, in my opinion, written the article to be a little less accusational. But I mean, I truly believe that Zoe walked this back, and I'm a little disturbed by her trying to like put it on the reporter. Like, I mean, I get the concept of clickbait, but she literally starts this off by saying, let's call bad reporting. But then she verifies everything that was said. You know what I'm saying? She says bad journalism. You know,
I mean, if we are we taking Zoe at her word that she said we're not going urban for this part?
Well, she says it again. She says the thing says, hold on, dang, I got these all out of order. It says right here, she says, I don't know who said it, but they said that they weren't going urban on the part. I mean, we're literally talking like tomato.
Okay, so I will, but if we're talking about journalism and good versus bad journalism, if that's what Zoe Kravitz said to this person, and then the person puts in the headline that she was too urban for the part, then that is bad journalism. That's a misquote. It's put out there and it's misleading. It is technically bad journalism, and it's an incorrect headline. So it would make sense to clear that up, to be like, now this, first of all, these were my words. You know, you hear me do it. I'm like, well, there's a little word here and there, because when you mix up a word, it can change the meaning of everything. So yes, it's bad journalism, but still, it's, you know, either way, the statement was, we're not trying to cast black folks, like you said, you know, and that should be the conversation. So the reporter, if they're really like, oh, wow, there's something here, maybe I should go and talk to the people who made this movie and see, like, okay, what's the story here? Why weren't we going urban? Is there a bigger problem with casting directors in Hollywood? Like, that's journalism, like going and finding the story instead of being like, oh shit, Zoe said this, let me put this out here and, you know, get people all riled up. You know what I mean? It's so there is a point to be made about the bad journalism, but that doesn't excuse the racism.
Nah, not at all. And I don't know for a fact. My theory is that Zoe said she was told she was too urban. My theory is that that's what she said to the reporter, and then when it got out, she was like, "Oh shit, did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to. Let me walk it back." And then it made the reporter look, and then tried to basically throw the journalist under the bus. Is what it feels like to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, I don't know, because she nowhere in this article says what I said was, and what was misquoted. What she says basically is that, look, this is what I said, and this is how it was taken. I mean, I don't know, man. It's a clusterfuck, but I mean, here we have two instances of being black in Hollywood that aren't necessarily going too well. Here's one more, and I don't think this has anything to do with black. Frankly, this last one is just a little weird, and I'm hoping, I don't know if y'all are aware of this or not, but you know your boy is like legit in a sunken place right now, or at least that's what they're saying. Are you all familiar with the story of what's going on with Daniel Kaluuya and how he fired like a good chunk of his staff so that some lady named the hair something is now like supposed to be running his life as a life strategist, and it's the weirdest thing you've ever seen. I don't know how to describe it, what exactly is going on, but they say that this lady is like the leader of some sort of cult, and now she's leading this dude's life, and as a result, he ended up firing a good portion of his staff to listen to only her. Now he's still a married man, and he's still still doing his thing. But let me just see if I can comb through this article real quick for you guys. So according to page 6, what it's saying here is that Daniel Kaluuya, who won Best Actor for Judas and the Messiah, is concerned. Insiders are concerned that he has jettisoned his agents and publicists and seems to be under the influence of a charismatic life strategist. Air Holiness, this young lady right here, this lady on the right-hand side, all right, Air Holiness calls herself Kaluuya's personal manager, and on a now deleted LinkedIn page seen by the Post, she has also described herself as head mistress for the international alma mater Blessed University. Here's a quote saying, to be honest, we can't figure out who she is. We have no clue as his team has shifted camps. And then it also says the Post has confirmed from multiple sources that Air was by Kaluuya's side as he filmed Nope in his second horror movie with director Jordan Peele after 2017's Get Out cast. Last month, Matt Maloney of Puck News reported Holiness behavior during the filming of Jordan Peele's Nope, in which Kaluuya stars, caused people on set to be concerned about her influence over the British actor. People on the Nope set were very concerned that Air had taken over Daniel Kaluuya's life and all decisions had to go through her, said an industry insider. I've heard there were multiple blow-ups and the production people were afraid of her. What the fuck? What
She's blackmailing him.
You think? I mean, he's a married man. This isn't his wife. The wife knows about this. I mean, not that means much, nowadays. But what in the holy hell is going on? Steph.
Psychoanalyze this.
Yeah. Well, tell me what's going on. I mean, is this guy? Is he? I mean, I don't even know where to start.
Hollywood is such a strange place. People are notoriously unbalanced living in that kind of world. And I think this woman has just managed to really get in his ear and exert some serious influence. And I mean, Stockholm syndrome is a thing. People fall in love with their actual kidnappers. So for him to be giving this kind of attention and authority to a woman who has convinced him she's a spiritual advisor, like,
right.
It happens. I'm not surprised. I just think he's gotten caught up by a scammer, like so many other millions of people. They sell you a dream and you buy it. Look at Scientology. The whole entire thing is a pyramid scheme, and people are giving their life savings to an alien god that you have to pass 100 levels of a video game to reach. Like nothing about this surprises me.
I don't even know if we have much to. I kind of just wanted to let this be known because I don't know if everybody's aware that this is happening. I just think that it's odd that literally the dude who was famous for being in a sunken place is in a sunken place. it's literally happening. Like, you of all people should know to stay away from the tea glass, and somehow he's sucked into this succubus's arms. And I don't know. I just hope it doesn't mess up his career. I know that you can get really, really distracted when you're in Hollywood and don't have much going on between projects. So I just hope that this doesn't derail him, because, Black Panther 2 is on the rise and he's supposed to be in it. And
I'm looking forward to the homecoming game when Blessed University plays a School of Hard Knocks. That's going to be a crazy game. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be just wild.
No.
All right. Yo, he kept that one in the chamber for a while, man. That was good, man. Thank you, Tyler. All right, well, that's today's Blerd news, man. We'll discuss more as this does pertain to one of the topics that we're talking about. But in other news, as we stated before, there's some new things on the horizon that have a lot of folks in the Blerd universe very excited. One thing that I know Stephanie is so ranting and raving about is this new Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer. She could not stop talking about it. She is so excited. She is like, oh my God, can you believe Obi-Wan, the one and only who trained Anakin? she's like, who the fuck is Obi-Wan Kenobi? She's like, Obi-T, what the fuck? what does Siri say? I gotta see what Siri. I got nothing. Yeah, it's funny. So yeah, man. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the trailer is finally here. Not these fan-made trailers that we fall for on accident that typically show him in the desert as Jesus. Yeah. All right. But an actual trailer, and you're in for a treat because we actually have the trailer here today. And it seems like we're not getting canceled when we do it this way. So let's give it a shot and see how this goes.
The fight is done. We lost. Stay hidden.
Oh shit.
The key to hunting Jedi is patience.
Oh shit!
Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail. The Jedi code is like an itch. He cannot help it. Where is he?
Oh shit.
Limited series streaming.
Yo! 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 Was that Coruscant? Where yo! Oh the yo!
I'm just watching.
She's got a red lightsaber. Is she Sith?
No, those are Inquisitors.
I was gonna say that's the Grand Inquisitor's lightsabers.
Oh, okay. We gotta unpack this, yo. I thought we was just gonna watch it, but nah, man. We gotta do a play-by-play on this joint, yo. Cause like, what the fuck, yo? Okay, go ahead, Steph, please.
Quick point of clarification. First of all, thank you, Seriously Black. I will definitely be using OBGYN. But is the man's name? Is it Obi-Wan? Like one, or is it Juan? Phonetically, it looks like it's Juan. I'm like, seriously, please. How does someone tell me how to say his name? Because I'm confused.
Obi-Wan.
It's Juan, but we used to say one. I mean, you know, I used to actually spell it OB1, like the letter OB and one, you know, as a kid. But yeah, as you get older, you learn that the Jedi typically have like these weird names like Qui-Gon, you know, Mace Windu, you know, Obi-Wan. Like they're kind of like Muslim, like, you know,
Anakin, like
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, he turns into Darth Vader. So there's it's Obi-Wan technically, you know, but I mean, say what you want, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter. You know, who cares?
Or if you're Lando, it's probably Obi-Wan.
Hey, Obi-Wan and Solo here. But yo, bro, look, I gotta see what the heck. Okay, so let's just go ahead and just do a quick breakdown before we talk Raised by Wolves. Let's just see if we can follow exactly what's going on here. Let's go ahead and take the audio off, and let's just look at this one more time. So here we are once again. It looks like we are. I love that meme Yaz posted. Like, was it Yaz? It may have been baby girl Nolly, who posted a joke like, "Yo, Tatooine has always got like Tatooine has been carrying Star Wars on his back."
that was Molly because I've been posting.
Yeah. Oh my God, yo, that shit had me dying. So here we are once again in Tatooine. It appears, obviously, because we know that that's where your Obi-Wan ends up linking up with our boy Luke, right? And so here we have Obi-Wan in the desert, probably found in his cave where he ends up living, and where we end up finding him in episode 4. This is literally where he was in episode 4, right? This is where he found him, out there with all the Jawas, you know, hidden in the sand mountains of Tatooine, not too far from Mos Eisley. And here's Luke. This is Luke. I'm assuming this is Luke. Tyrone, this is Luke, right?
Yeah.
So we got Luke Skywalker officially in Obi-Wan, a young Luke. Pay attention, Marvel. This is how you get a new T'Challa. You see what they did? There's a whole new Luke, and it's not Mark Hamill. And if he grows into the part, bam, there's that. Okay, anyway, there's that. So we've got Luke, and he's watching from afar. Uncle Aaron is in here, right?
Yep.
Uncle Owen, yeah.
Uncle Owen is here. And he's reprised his role. I like that. The Grand Inquisitors, where is this? Anybody? Seriously Black, comment section.
I forgot the name of the planet, but I'm pretty sure that's where you go in towards the end of Jedi Fallen Order. And if you remember that game,
the Nine Sisters, that's where you fight them at.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I forgot the name of the planet though, but if that's where you're going, then we're gonna have some really great scenes and some. Oh yeah, because this Inquisitor thing is pumping me up.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
So we're hopefully like my chiropractor. He's been like geeking out ever since it came out. And he's like, "Yeah, did you see this?" He was like, "Bro, without telling you the trailer." Remember the game, The Fallen Order? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, there's going to be some Easter eggs in that bitch. And I was like, so you just ruined the whole trailer for me? He's like, no. He's like, watch it, but pay attention. And then like when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, that's what he's talking about. So we might get a little bit more like information about like the Nine Sisters and Dathomir, where they come from and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the Inquisitor is here. So like that might.
Yo, if the Nine Sisters come out, like with their lightsabers, because one of them carries 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And yo, well, we look.
One of them dies in the game.
Yo, did you get that article I sent you, Tyrone? I tagged you in that says that Cal,
possibility of Cal Kestis.
Yeah, Cal may actually show up, and he looks just like he does in the game in real life.
Right.
So it wouldn't be that far-fetched. And what is he doing right now? Is Gotham's not taping? There's no what's that show he's on? Shameless.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he might have time. And what better franchise to be embedded in than the Star Wars franchise, especially now that they're doing these series. Okay, this is the Inquisitor's Headquarters.
Vince, we just got live action BD-8 too in the last Boba series. BD-1, yeah. So like, I mean, that's another little like, you know, baby Easter egg too, as to like him possibly showing up.
That's the Inquisitor's Headquarters.
Yeah.
Yo.
Also, I mean, there's a possibility we see some Darth Maul in this show.
I know. I was waiting for it. Oh.
Yo, okay. All right. Let's do a little bit. Okay, all right. Yo, what's going on right here? All right. So this reminds me. Look. This could be Anakin. Okay, this could be Anakin. If you recall, this takes place. Oh, we lost Steph. This takes place just after Anakin is turned in. You know, he has the low road. You know, he has the high ground, and loses all his limbs, and still is. I hate you. You know, his eyes are turning red, and this is right after they put on his helmet, and he finds out Padme didn't survive the childbirth. So I don't know for a fact that this is Darth Vader, but it gives me some. I mean, because we remember what old Vader looked like when Luke took his helmet off, right?
Right. This is the Inquisitor, though.
I was about to say. I thought Hayden Christensen was reprising his role.
Yeah, this is this is the guy with the fucking hammerhead helmet hat on. Like when they're walking, this is that same guy. This is the Inquisitor. So that's why he's tying like Darth Maul, Dathomir, like he's tying all day like these people together with this.
Oh, okay. All right.
From Clone Wars. If you watch, I don't remember where in Clone Wars, like towards the end, I think, but like he's in Clone Wars. Like they show him in there and they give him a little bit of tidbit, like on like information about him.
Okay, he looks familiar. I couldn't.
He's just super skinny in Clone Wars. They made him look like really beefy and like like Darth Vader, so he's fucking scary and big and shit. But he's like super skinny in the Clone Wars though.
All right, yeah, damn, yeah. It's just Lisa said.
Lisa.
I know there was I think there was a storm going on where Steph was.
So,
she may have lost power.
Okay, hopefully not. You know what I'm saying? But if so, Steph, you know where we at. So we have an Inquisitor here. What else do we have to unpack in this trailer? Let's see. All right. Well, okay, we got a speeder train. So she says, I'm hearing Sirius Black is in the comments saying that this is Reva, who is one of the Inquisitors. There's Uncle Owen again. All right. And she seems to have a prominent role, which is exciting. Yeah. Very exciting and smart on Star Wars' behalf, because they need people like Stephanie to watch this show and talk about it in our Blerd groups. And oh, shoot, she's got some, is that Force tendencies? Whoa. Yo, what city is this? Why are there stormtroopers after the eradication of the Empire? What's going on? Like, what the fuck? You know,
they say. I mean, there were still factions of stormtroopers left, and keep in mind this is the rise of the Empire still, because this takes place after.
Jedi.
So is this right? Is this where Solo is at?
No,
I feel like this is the city.
3.
Is this where like Solo takes place? I feel like we saw this place in Solo.
Oh, you're right. Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. Oh shit.
I remember like the Imperial guards were like walking around and like gathering up certain people. If you remember in Solo, like they showed us the same kind of city and they were driving through this city.
Oh my god. Yo, this is around Rogue One time. This is what this is.
Yes.
This is between episode 3 and episode 4.
Right. It would have been before Rogue One because Leia would have been an adult by Rogue One.
Right. Okay, yeah. So it's way before. Okay, so it's right after Darth Vader is. Excuse me. Right after Darth Vader becomes Darth Vader, but before Luke begins to learn about the Force.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is right around when he goes into into isolation, as Jedis do. After they,
after Order 66, after they, started being hunted and stuff like that.
Yeah. So now we get to see what happened in that time in the interim between Obi-Wan being badass Jedi to Hermit, who introduces him to Yoda. So
Steph is back, Vince.
Hey, Steph. Okay, what's up, Steph? Okay, welcome back. All right, thank you for joining us, Steph. You got knocked out by a Star Wars storm. But yeah, we were just talking about the fact that we thought that this character specifically maybe somebody that was like literally brought in for the likes of keeping your interest. You know what I'm saying? Like, and by you, I mean folks such as us who are interested in seeing our own embedded in these universes because we want to be included instead of putting our face superimposed on others. So I'm learning that she's kind of a badass. If you just look at the sequences here, I mean, Sirius is telling us that this young lady's name is Reva. She's wielding a lightsaber. She's jumping great distances, which tells me she may be force sensitive. I'm geeked the fuck up, and I'm eager to learn more. And I think that they're smart by teasing her being in this as well. But
I think she kills. I think she kills like Uncle Owen in this. Like if you see, like she like watch play it.
She can't kill Uncle Owen's in.
Uncle Owen has to survive until Luke is an adult.
The Uncle Owen was killed by the Empire when they were looking for Luke.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that was gonna happen. Okay. All right. Yo, but look at her. Like she's prominent. She's pretty high up on the cast call.
People are going to be upset with me because I have no loyalty to Star Wars or Jedi, only Black people. So I am rooting for this woman to kill all the Jedi, whatever she hopes to accomplish.
Yo, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Even the Black Jedi? Jesus, like there are Black Jedi.
All right, leave them alone.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck?
Rooting for her to succeed at whatever her mission is.
Yeah, like Jesus.
It's like kill everyone.
I'm rooting for everyone Black except the Jedi. Like Mace Windu was like
Right.
Samuel L. Jackson. Finn, who was Force sensitive, is a prominent Black. And
was he ever a
dare I
Jedi
say-
though? Did they do this? I thought I read a whole thing about his character deserved the Stormtrooper to Jedi arc, and they didn't actually give it to him.
That's
and I was
correct.
like, see, look at these hoes. This
That's
is why.
it. And your boy did, John Boyega did.
And he felt
Unlike-
used. He was like mad about it.
Well,
Yeah.
unlike Zoe, he was
Right.
outspoken about it, and he said, "I said what I said." You know what I'm saying? He was like,
That's why I
"I
fucked
said
with
what
him.
I said, bro," and that's what I feel like it is, and that's what it is. So now, listen, what you may not realize, Stephanie, is that somewhere on somebody's desk is more than likely a story about a young Mace Windu,
Yep.
which is a Black Jedi, and we want to see all of that story. And this could be tying it to it, as far as we know.
Yep.
I'm hoping it does, because what's cooler than freaking Samuel L. Jackson with the freaking grape lightsaber, trying to kill Palpatine? We want that. So to make it common to see more Black, this is the first Black woman I've seen wield a lightsaber. Let me just put it out there like that. I mean, and I don't count Rosario Dawson. She doesn't count. All right.
How does she not count?
Because first of all, she's not. She claims Latina. All right, which is fine. But also, she's not playing as herself. She's playing as Ahsoka Tano, which is not a human being. This is a Black woman that is a Black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, as the casted as a Black woman, not an alien creature, and she has a lightsaber. But now that I think about it, we didn't have too many women, period, wielding lightsabers in the universe of Star Wars. Am I right, Tyrone? Yeah.
Yeah, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry, not surviving, but I mean there were a lot of
There were females, but
Yeah.
women, not the ones with the with the tail, the head tails, and all the different.
Yeah,
Do
like
we
during
really-
the Clone Wars era and stuff like that. I mean, there were a good, like, it wasn't like a lot, but there were a good amount of different races and beings and species
Yeah.
and this kind of thing, and genders and everything. But most everybody got killed. Most of the ones that survived were white dudes. So
Right, yeah. And I know Ray. Before anybody hits me in the comments, we know Ray is out there. I know that the whole entire sequels were all around a woman with a lightsaber. I get it, but I mean, Black woman, yes, we haven't seen that. So yes, Obi-Wan is looks fire, and it looks like it's gonna be. I bet you this is a 6 episode series, and not only is that because I don't honestly, I feel like that's more than likely just because Obi-Wan being played by Ewan McGregor they can't afford to have a 10 season like this dude is, he's the Obi-Wan from the series. And if they got Hayden Christensen, we already see they reprised Uncle Owen as well. I don't see how they could, it's probably gonna be 6 episodes, right, Tyrone? I mean, Tylene?
I don't know how many episodes Obi-Wan is gonna be. I haven't actually looked it up to see how many episodes, but what I will say is we more than likely will not be facing the same level of disappointment we faced with Boba Fett.
Yeah.
The excitement is warranted, and I think it will absolutely either reach or surpass whatever level of excitement and that we have for it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think that this is not one of them instances where we're going to be severely disappointed because we had this heightened sense of expectations. I mean, there's a lot going on with this world, and Obi-Wan is the only. Wait. Nope. I'm lying. He's one of the few characters. Nope, that's not even true either. He wasn't in all 3 Star Wars editions. He wasn't in the sequels at all. He had no role in the sequels.
no, I mean, I didn't. didn't he show up as a Force ghost and you know at the very end, waving and shit? But
Well,
I think
in the movies, wait, I don't
In the
remember him
sequels.
showing up as a ghost. But either way, this is definitely.
But I
Oh.
do want to say IMDb does list 6 episodes for Obi-Wan.
Yep, sounds about right. Yep. And Seriously Black is in the comments, schooling us again. Of course, there's a list of all the females in the Jedi Order. How much time we got? I tell you what, make a video, send it to the group, and we'll break it down, bro, and we'll definitely post it. But yeah, looks like we are looking forward to a delightful series coming our way. Thank you, Disney, for giving us our 3 shows a year or whatever it is that they do. But they happen to be badass. So far, Boba Fett, I still don't hate it as much as some. Was entertaining, to say the least. Done well, who knows? But now we got another thing coming our way. And then shortly thereafter, we got Moon Knight and whatnot. So looks like the future is looking bright. Let's go ahead and get into some of these let's talk about some of the stuff that happened this week. Now, as you all know, Tyrone, and I think everybody at this point has seen the Batman movie, right? On the panel, we've all seen it, except for maybe Steph. Did you?
One Stephanie Ray.
Didn't you get coerced into seeing it?
Coerced?
Coerced.
I was casually dating someone for whom I was going to watch the movie, and I'm not speaking to him anymore, so now I don't have a reason to. So the short answer is no.
No.
But there's so many
Okay.
other men. Okay, all right. Well, we got to make that happen. But I know you don't care about spoilers, so we might talk about it.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. Tell me everything.
Yeah, okay. So we might talk about that. But before we
energy.
Before we get into that, let's just really quick, if we can really quickly, discuss some of the developments on one of our favorite shows. And of course, you know I'm talking about Raised by Wolves. This episode was incredibly eventful, and we now only have 1 episode left for the season finale. Ty, I know if you watched this, you probably lost your shit like I did, but also had hella questions like,
still.
And I know Tyrone was just like, okay, all right, none of this makes any sense.
I mean, it's doing what it do.
I literally thought about you when I was watching. I was like, yeah, Tyrone's gonna have something to say about that. All right. So
I mean, obviously, when the sky snake deep throats the woman tree, it turns into a squid, right? That's obvious. That's regular sci-fi stuff. No questions. Everything's fine.
Yeah. All right. You went right to it. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty much where I was going with it. Was like, okay, so we have a snake that decides, you know what? Let me just go ahead and suck the tip of this tree all into my body, and then become super tree snake, which I don't understand. But it happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh shit, but I'm still here for it. Also, Vril is back. She's got a cool ass mask, which I couldn't even find online.
Wait, time out. You said that was cool? That bitch looked like fucking Jason.
I thought it was cool. Yes, I thought
Like
it
how
was
she was
dope.
trying to look less scary, and she
He looked more scary.
What? You
I would
also,
have
like-
preferred her face.
You prefer this?
Yes.
What?
Bro, I would not want that bitch going after
Yeah,
me.
look, she's winking at
That
you.
looks like a zombie.
Yes.
It looks like a zombie, Yaz, and you are scared of zombies.
I am scared of zombies, but like, I guess you guys have your answer. That bitch will be alive.
I think Yaz has just revealed herself as an anti-masker. She doesn't even want a mask on a zombie.
I have to wear a
face.
mask. I work in that freaking outfield. Like, I have to wear them every day.
Just messing with you, of course. But all right, hold on. Spoilers, like the comedy catch.
I do have a question about Vril. Like,
okay, what'd it do?
When she, when she shut down or whatever, it was like she's about to go radioactive.
Right?
You might want to recycle. Like, why? Like, we've seen so many dead androids, and that's never been a problem.
Have we seen so many dead androids?
Like all the androids that were on that ship that crashed. And,
Yep.
Like,
He's right.
Yeah, like they're a lot. Like these are the kinds of things. And I'm sure one day it doesn't matter. Like it's fun. We're having a good time. But like all of a sudden, like I don't know how radioactive this is going to be. But yeah, it's little things like that. Like all of a sudden, there's just like some new shit to deal with.
He does have a point.
I don't have an explanation, but the only thing I will say is that this, if I'm not mistaken, was a specific model that was made by her mother, with potentially certain specs that may not have been included for all models. I remember she was a different type of android than just the service androids that were on these ships. So there's a possibility, but it's a good question. I don't have an answer. This is just speculation. I do know, however, that I am very, very, very much forward to looking at this and to seeing the season finale, if not only to see Grandmother go head to head. Oh, damn, I downloaded that wrong. Fuck. To see Grandmother go head to head with this giant snake, with the serpent. I have a theory that the serpent is not going to be destroyed and that it's going to be kumbaya in the end.
Okay, no. See, did you see the ending? Like I feel like, do you ever watch the ending, like the very ending where they preview the show, like that's coming next week? Okay, they showed the serpent dead, and they were like slicing it up and shit like that. Bro, I swear to, I watched it twice just to make sure. I swear to God, yes. Look,
they showed. Now, if you recall, they were slicing up stuff on those animals that took Tempest baby,
yes,
and they used it to cover up the drone.
Right.
I don't know if they showed that full serpent being destroyed, frankly, because that'd be completely stupid to spoil something that of that magnitude. So let's hope you're wrong, but I'm not saying that you are. Because I honestly don't know, but let's hope that that's not the case. You'd be an idiot to show at the end of Empire Strikes Back that Darth Vader dies in Return of the Jedi, right? So I hope that's not the case, but let's just take a moment and give some flowers to Grandma. Grandmother is a young lady by a British actress by the name of Selena Jones, who is making her not television, but major stage debut, in my opinion, in this particular role, and I'm here for it. I honestly think that she's going to be a prominent member of season 3's cast, and that Grandmother is going to change a lot in this scope, because as you recognize, she seems to be more knowledgeable of her kind than even Mother. Mother's going to her like, yo, what do I do? Like this, I can't kill this motherfucker. And then she's like, well, what about your veil? And she's like, what about the veil? It's like, oh, you ain't know about the veil, bitch? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, you put the veil on to keep your emotions from getting to you. And so now the necromancers are starting to align in terms of their powers. And basically, we also learned that that number 7, Mr. Serpent himself, basically has all of Mother's powers. Like, this motherfucker is a force to be reckoning with, Ty. Like, I don't know how they're just gonna. I mean, Mother, I don't think is gonna be able to kill her. I think it's gonna be like a tag team between Mother and Grandmother, and I'm still curious as to how to do it, because if you looked at the show, you'll see that Mother tried to kind of hit her with the scream, right? And Serpent was like, that's cute. Here's a real scream, bitch, and like took Mother offline. You know,
I don't know that that's what happened. I know that when she went to Grandmother, she has some type of protocols in place, because she's a caregiver that won't allow her to hurt her children or her perceived children.
I see.
So when she went to go do the yell, I think the protocols enacted, and it stopped her from doing what she would typically do. And that's why she went to Grandmother to figure out how she could kill the 7 with the protocols up. And Grandmother told her that we'd have to take out the caregiver programming that you have. And then she asked her how hard would it be, and she said as easy as something. So what I think is going to happen is the caregiving protocol is going to be transferred over to Grandmother. She's going to now take over responsibility of caring for the kids, which then leaves Mother back to being a necromancer without emotion, which is scary, because she could at some point decide to kill everything. And I think the showdown that you were referring to, I don't think it's going to be Grandmother and 7. I think it definitely will be Mother and 7. But I don't know what the outcome will be. whether or not Seven, survives or whatever. But I do know that this whole plan to make Seven into what he is, all derives from this, what the Mithraic thought was
the prophecy.
Saul.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was that the signal that they were referring to. And I think now Paul and Marcus have accepted the fact that this isn't Saul. This
Right.
is something else. And the plan has kind of reached fruition. They created Seven as a way to eradicate all the life forms on the planet. But in order to do so, he had to basically mutate. And that's what he did when he swallowed the erect tree. That because I thought that was really funny how it erected itself before it came. It was like, burn me, like what? Oh, what? But anyway, so yeah, I think that's ultimately what this is all boiling down to. I think we're going to see in the season finale a showdown between Mother and Thing, and at some point, those creatures, whatever those creatures are in the acid lake, they coming. You can't just keep killing them people, killing them things, and just and stealing their babies and doing all of that. You can't keep doing that. They coming.
Yes, I'm curious. Like, what did you think about like the fact that Tempest is like, you know what? I think I found the mother of my child, and it's an alien beast that lives in acid. Like, what are your thoughts?
So I thought it was kind of weird at first, but then I kind of understood, she's never, this whole time, she's never wanted that child. All she wanted was to know that the baby wasn't with someone that was going to care for her. That was all she wanted. You know what I mean? So when she saw that the creature wasn't hurting the baby, that it was feeding the baby, you know what I'm saying? And that they just found a dead baby, a creature baby, you know what I'm saying? So obviously that mother lost her baby and was trying to replace it. So it was kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. And then I can't remember what the black kid's name is with the fucking android with no head, but I did not think he had the balls to fucking shoot that bitch. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, no, he did it. And then he just tried to give the baby to Tempest and looked shit, what did I just do? Fuck. You're gonna have to raise that baby now because no one, you know what I'm saying? It's a new baby in the new world. And my question is, though, I literally said that, how was the baby straight sucking on the acid boob?
Yes.
I was like, how is the baby she's straight sucking on an acid titty? How is this baby not dead right now? You know what I'm saying? What chemicals are these things pumping into this baby? Is this baby gonna turn into one of them? You know what I mean? Because obviously they did say that there were humans here, you know what I'm saying? And they did tell us that those creatures did evolve, you know what I'm saying? And we see the evolution of them and they have human abilities. So I'm trying to think is this baby gonna fucking turn into one of them? You know what I'm saying? From drinking the booby milk? That would be pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie.
I got to give this show credit because this show makes us ask some of the stupidest questions because we have to. We it's so ridiculous. I love it. It's just so fun. And no, I'm not listening to the official podcast for this show. No, thank you. I'll the show's enough.
I sometimes wish I did listen because I think that they would probably help make some of this stuff make sense. But I mean, it's also kind of fun just to speculate, I'm still tripping off the fact that baby girl turned into a whole tree.
Wait, so okay, so I have a theory about this. So remember how they were saying about how soul, they think it's a frequency coming from the earth and everything, right? So you gotta think about it. Well, from the planet, from the actual planet, right? So you gotta think about it. She touched the tree, or the plant turned into the tree. Now she is part of that, she's in the ground, she's part of that planet. And they were saying it's a frequency, you know what I'm saying, that only some people can hear. That radio, Ragnar Marcus said that radio was dormant since they crashed. Literally, it wasn't working. And she literally connected through the headset and was like, burn me. After she I thought it was like you said, Bad tie. I was like, how the fuck she go from like being all like this, the serpent gets out, and then she just decides to like put her arms up and twist together. She like literally made herself like the perfect, like she was like, oh, eat me, motherfucker. Like she was like, just burn me, hurry up. And then Marcus is like looking at this thing, circling it, and then start eating it, and then he's gonna start burning it. Like, it's not gonna hurt that thing. Like the tree was fucking gone before he even got the fire to go. So I just thought that was very interesting. You know what I'm saying? With the whole like soul isn't real and the planet is like, you know, it's like an alien frequency type thing. You know what I'm saying? That's connecting to these people, and with the prophecy and everything, and how it was written into, you know, like the ruins, and how like they had that weird freaking that dice looking ball that Marcus had to go down into the middle of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just so many underlining things about this show that just like it, you're right, Tyrone, it does make you ask this dumbest fucking questions, but at the same time, like it keeps you so intrigued because you're like, are they gonna fucking like what's going on next? You don't know. So I think that's what makes this show so interesting to Vince and I, and Bad Tie is like, you know, this is a total mind fuck, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's one way to describe it, as a mind fuck, because I mean, we literally now are dealing with a serpent that was birthed by an android that just ate a tree that's trying to kill people that are on a planet that has acid creatures that are breastfeeding babies. I never would thought that it was a sentence that I would say in my life. Like, what the fuck is all that? Another thing that's happened that I think is getting overlooked real quick before we get into Batman, before we go, is what was it that really made Marcus like lose his faith so quickly? I mean, he was diehard soul, and then, you know, he lost the eyes, and now he and Mother have an alliance. He voluntarily goes back to the camp, and seems to kind of be. He was telling little Paul. He was like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't a voice. You know, maybe we was wrong. You know, like what happened? Like, what is it? Is it the fact that the android killed off his people and he thought that he was the one, and now he's realizing like, holy shit, like all this shit.
No, I think Sue had a lot to do with that. After she turned into a fucking tree, I think that had a lot to do with that, because like, think about it. The prophecy was going to change their lives. This was everything they were doing, Mithraic wise, was for the prophecy to start this new world order. But now you gotta think about it. They had the seed. They couldn't get it open. As soon as they're sleeping, they wake up and Sue's a fucking tree. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that he thought was going to happen didn't fucking happen. And now he's got to explain to his kid, you know what I'm saying? That like, wow, what if this is bullshit? You know what I'm saying? What if this is all just, you know, like everyone's saying, maybe it is the signal that's, you know, taking it, like getting us to do this and shit, you know? And then especially the fact that like Sue came through, like they heard her voice, you know what I'm saying? Right. Through the damn, you know what I'm saying, the radio. She's saying burn me because she knew what was going to happen with the serpent. You know what I'm saying? Why he was so eager to get out. So like Dark Secret said, you know what I'm saying? Like the tree is a signal. Like, look at that fucking thing. That is not a serpent anymore. It's a fucking whale and an octopus and a fucking snake all mixed together. Like, you know what I'm saying? That thing has evolved way, way stronger than we could ever imagine. And I think Mother, when she blasted it, she like, it absorbed her power and realized that like I'm more powerful than you, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you made me. Like, what do you think this is? So I don't know. I can't wait to see the finale. I'm not gonna lie, but I do agree with you guys that Mother is gonna end up taking the serpent out and like saving everyone. And then you're right.
Is the serpent still technically a vegan if his wife turned into a tree? Like, I don't know the rules of veganism, so I don't know if he's still technically vegan, but I'm just wondering, these are just the questions that I have.
I have one more question. Why wouldn't Lamia let anybody eat the fruit? It looked like brains, did it not?
Well, I mean, you're on a planet with not a lot of food options. They can't just go to Chick-fil-A. You know, I mean, like whatever it is that they find new fruit, they're probably like, oh shit, thank God, a new food source, you know?
Right, but everyone's telling her it's been tested and it's fine, it's not harmful, like, you know, like no chemicals, stuff like that. And she's immediately like, fuck that. She's dumping all the damn fruit in one thing and pulling it away. You know,
they lied. They lied. She was like, oh, a woman turned into a tree. Now they're eating this fruit. Like, I'm sure like if those people knew that, hey, this is a lady tree and whatever fruit is coming off of it, like this way, like they'd be like, no, thank you. Maybe we should talk about this.
But she was okay with the kids eating the sea creatures and having them, you know, like killing them for the kids to eat, but not telling them that that's where they were getting the meat. So
I mean, when they think they're just animals, like, you know, just kind of like how we eat cows and shit.
It's fruit though. It's coming from a tree. You know what I'm saying?
To that statement, as far as her letting them one of the things that mother's capabilities is to process what is edible or not. Like she's been doing that since season 1.
That's true.
Like whenever they bring stuff, she'll be like, you know, they'll scan it and they'll be like, okay, you know, you can eat that or whatever. So mother actually is the one who needs to test stuff and make sure it's good. So the fact that everybody was telling her it's good is also coming from Paul, who lied to everybody, telling them that it was tested already. So I think once she realized that Sue was the tree, she immediately went back and saw the fruit that also was on the tree and was like, yeah, nah, y'all don't eat this. Don't eat this. And then, you know, after she saw 7 engulf all of the rest of them, and then, you know, so it's just like,
yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, so, but 7 is definitely not vegan anymore. This is you know, he definitely changed it, like it, whatever he, she, I don't know.
Why not? Why do you
gender.
say that? Why do you say that? I mean, he ate a tree. She wasn't like meat. She turned into a tree.
I say that because 7 is currently hunting Campion.
Yeah.
Not to eat him.
We don't know that. We don't know
that. Whoa. You said not to eat him?
Yeah, he hasn't eaten. The serpent hasn't eaten anybody.
Okay, time out. Were there not people on that little tanker that?
Yeah, but he like did the scream though.
Yeah, he didn't eat them.
Yeah, he's just exploding people, which is which might still make you a vegan. Like you could explode people, but don't eat.
But don't eat them. Don't partake.
Yeah.
Don't eat it.
He's a murderer, but he's not a cannibal.
But the tree lady was still sentient apparently because she was on the walkie-talkie. So like, you know, that might break the rules. So you know, there might be some repenting that needs to happen there. You know, maybe this is all on the podcast and I missed it. I don't know.
Oh, Steph, did you check it out? Okay, all right, we'll come back to you.
Steph is like, look, I didn't know.
She's like, you lucky I'm here, nigga.
The imagery really gross. Is like, I don't. Maybe I just need to give it a shot. But this whole time, I've been looking at horrifying images, and y'all talking about an alien having weird nature sex with a tree, and it's just really hard to. Whoa!
Time out. Let's reverse. What the fuck are you listening to? Because we didn't talk about no alien fucking a tree. We talked about alien fucking an AI.
While describing the scene, I used the word deep throat, which would allude to a sexual act. So that might be part of Stephanie's confusion. It's like, have you ever seen somebody eat a banana and you're like, there's no way you can't be sexual eating this banana. It's like that. That's how the thing ate the tree.
Yeah. It literally just like swallowed it.
Yeah. However, led up to it, Stephanie. The tree became erect like a penis. And then I mean, I'm just calling what it was. I mean, the shit that it went from flaccid to erect.
It did.
And then you know, 7 came in and opened wide and
took all 7 inches.
I was like, whoa.
That was quick too. It was super quick.
Yeah.
There was no breast.
Are we still talking about Raised by Wolves? What's going on?
Talk about the NC-17 version.
now there is some intermingling of relationships, as we know that Campion is basically he's crushing on Lil Varel here, and you know, no matter, he's literally, you know, beauty's on the inside type, and he told her she has a soul and all this other stuff. So yeah, there's some interspecies mingling going on, but no, the serpent didn't have sex. There hasn't been any sex between the androids and the humans yet, at least as far as I know, with the exception of when she was in her mind and Campion impregnated her with the serpent.
There was virtual sex, maybe, possibly. That was
maybe
virtual sex.
I love the mind fuck. I love it.
Me too.
It was a mind fuck, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like watching The Servant, you know what I'm saying, on Apple, but like androids and shit. Like, Stephanie, if you want another mind fuck, I'm just telling you, don't try to eat while watching The Servant on Apple Plus.
Do not watch The Servant, Stephanie. Yeah. Don't. It's not for you.
I can give y'all 2 episodes of this wolf thing. If you tell me the 2 episodes, I'll commit to watching 2.
Just make it the last 2. This one that just passed and the next one, because none of it's gonna matter anyway.
Yeah.
It all just changes when it needs to.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely good. Definitely looking forward to the finale next week. And during there, now that we've got grandmother and we know she's got hips, you know what I'm saying? And she sounds great when she talks. She looks like she's gonna be the star of season 3. Hopefully that comes pretty soon. And once again, shout out to Selena. Go ahead, do your thing, Queen. We see you, boo boo. We hope you make it now. Just to go ahead and wrap up, man. Now that Tyrone has had a chance to see Batman, I'm curious as to what your take on it now that you had an opportunity to get a glimpse at the Bat Detective, and just kind of let us know what you thought about it, homeboy.
Yeah, I'll be as brief as possible. I thought Officer Batman was a good movie, all like as just a movie, like a detective movie and stuff.
Yeah,
this Batman was a good cop. You know, he did his thing. Not my favorite Batman movie. I would say the Nolan Batman was better. Also, like, you know, the Keaton Batman Returns was better. Zoe did a great job as Catwoman. I don't think anybody else nailed and I think this was a choice by the movie. The villains were just kind of like whatever for me, just because you know they're trying to do this like grounded in reality thing, which is what we all love about superhero movies. But they're trying to do that thing, so you know it doesn't really leave the villains a lot of time to kind of be like the Penguin or you know that kind of thing. So it was. I enjoyed the movie overall, and yeah, just what the Riddler was making me laugh too much. I know the Riddler was people's favorite. I was laughing every time this dude was talking. It was I told Ty on Wednesday, he reminded me every time he spoke, he reminded me of Mick Foley as Mankind back in the old WWF days. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly who he reminded me of. Like when they talked about him like going crazy for this role or whatever, I was like, all he's doing is like the pre wrestling match interview as Mankind.
That's basically it. He was very, very Brutus the Barber Beefcake with it. You know what I'm saying? It was, but I kind of liked that aspect of making the Riddler not the skinny guy in the hat with the cane, kind of making him like a terrorist. You know, the whole head of QAnon, so to speak. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it being like that the whole movie. You know, I mean, but I like them trying to kind of redefine the Riddler. But yeah, the movie for me, I have to watch it again. Again, I said it the very first time, Ty. I think that this movie is going to age well. I think that it's going to be nice to watch on the home screen. I think that just going to the movie, I was expecting Action Batman, and we got, you know, Batman SVU, and it's cool. You know, I wasn't ready for it. I did look at my watch multiple times, and I think I dozed off a couple times. Doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. Just wasn't the Batman I was expecting, nor the one I wanted. So now that we've all seen it, except for Steph, who doesn't care because she hates Batman, we can talk about the fact that you know, they did. I don't want to. Can we spoil it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a week. Yeah,
trust me, you won't be the first person to spoil it.
No.
Well, I mean, they basically gave us an emo Batman who was on his second year, still trying to figure out whether or not I mean, I read an article that said that Robert Pattinson specifically wanted to dispel from the whole Playboy Bruce Wayne because he doesn't think that makes sense. So, I mean,
he didn't fit it. That's why.
But doesn't he? He does. I mean, well, I guess not as a dark creature. I mean, from the Twilight series, he was like the woman's man. I mean, who didn't want to be what young girl in high school other than Stephanie didn't want some of Edward? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. You know, oh, you did? Okay. Well,
I didn't. Yeah, I was Team Jacob.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. We like the werewolves. All right. I guess you guys like abs over pigment. So which is cool.
Oh, he was the one who had pigment.
He did.
That's my point.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
he had abs
like
and pigment.
And yeah, he had abs and pigment.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys are clickbaiting with y'all took my words out of it. But
not too much.
Yeah, but I honestly, I think that this movie was okay. I think it was good. I don't think it was great, but I still think that this movie, for me, was a Catwoman movie. I think that Zoe's part made the movie worthwhile. I wasn't too much feeling everything else. There's a particular scene where she jumps from her balcony to the floor to the ground. And I know that it's a stunt. I know that's a stunt or CGI, but it was done so seamlessly and so dope. I was like, that's dope. Like, I like to see scenes like that where you don't have to necessarily have, like, it seamlessly goes from her just getting dressed in the thing, and she just hops out and just jumps down. And that's Catwoman. Like, that's a superpower that we don't necessarily consider a superpower, like that type of acrobatics.
Right.
And, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Even like the simplicity. I know that they're trying to kind of online get us prepared for her to have these new masks and, you know, to kind of have a costume. But I like the simplicity of just putting on a hood, a mask like this with a couple ears on it. I like that. I thought it was dope, and
That's
I like that
burglar.
she was traditional.
Yeah, she's cat burglar.
Yeah, the cat burglar.
burglar.
Yeah, and I like that she's traditionally she's sexy. I like the fact that her and Bruce had that connection, or her and Batman rather, because she still doesn't know that Bruce is Batman. I like that, you know, but as far as Robert Pattinson kind of being, you know, Joe Friday in this whole thing, I wasn't ready for it, but I understand that that's the way Batman originally was. So folks who are fans, diehard fans of Batman, like from the first issue when he had a gun on him, we're thrilled because this was the Batman that they were introduced to as fans, Talim, and I guess it works. You know.
I mean, I think you're right about the stay power. I think it's going to have stay power, but I think the reason it's going to have stay power is because they're making a conscious effort to build this universe.
Right.
So you're going to, like I said, you have the Penguin spinoff that is coming to HBO Max. Batgirl, the Batgirl movie or series is coming to HBO Max. There's been talks with Matt Reeves about going after some of these other villains, possibly doing a Mr. Freeze movie. And it just opens the realm of possibilities to create these worlds and these movies with these origin stories of some of the other villains. Because when we were talking about this on the multiverse, one of the biggest things that I was saying was that the villains in the Batman universe don't really get that much play. Like outside of Joker, like the
right.
old Riddler, you know what I'm saying? Like the corny Mr. Freeze, and you know what I'm saying? Like you don't get the cinematic storylines of some of these villains, and it would be nice. Like there's a lot you could touch on. Hush. You could go. Like I've said, a Solomon Grundy story would be dope.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of
those
different
kinds of villains in this universe, because there's not like the villains are just regular in this universe. Like I almost don't want to see a Mr. Freeze in this type of universe, because like what's he just going to be, some dude who just likes extra ice in his drink? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of way that they portray the villains in these kinds of movies.
I think initially that's the way they portrayed all of these villains, because this is supposed to be a startup. So I think you see the progression as the story goes. Like we talked about before, the Penguin is no longer just a flunky. He's going to be the boss moving forward in his series. So you'll see growth and development in each of these characters. And I think the same thing could be said for Mr. Freeze. You get the backstory, you get the growth, and then at some point the technological side of it comes into play. I think if they do a Batman movie moving forward, you see Bruce Wayne's development. You see more of the technological advancements. The Batmobile doesn't look like just a muscle car. You know what I'm saying? The mansion doesn't look like a slum. So you start seeing growth and development, and I think that's what Matt Reeves is creating, is the universe that will allow that.
Well, let me jump in here real quick and abruptly end the show before we run out of time. Unfortunately, it is, man, time goes by fast when you're talking good content. So make sure y'all replay this watch us. We may have a little bit of time, but not a lot. I got a hard out today as well. So maybe a little bit of time to do a little bit of after banter. But let's go ahead and just send to the out, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, make sure you guys like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. We are on YouTube, and our numbers are growing. So please don't forget to tell your friends, holla at your boy. And as we always say every week, make sure you are your authentic self and all thing you are. All right, no worries. Be you. That's who we want to be around. Is you, the actual you, not the fake you, not the you that they think that you should be, but the you that you are. You are enough, more than enough. So be that. And in all things, if you a geek, as always, go ahead. Don't be afraid. Let that geek flag fly. Holla at your boy. See you in the group in a few minutes.
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zangief, only Ken and Ra. You, I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging and our uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity. Yeah, them niggas over there. Yeah.